I don't think it's a big deal. I think in the next coming months, Tribe Nine's revenue will probably only go up. But I think this is probably the all-time low. If it's gonna die, I think it'll take like another year.
A shocking announcement has been made. I believe it was 4 or 5 hours ago. Tribe 9 has announced their end of service. Thank you for your continued support for Tribe 9. We regret to inform you that service of Tribe 9 will be terminated on November 27th, 2025. I think this is Jakarta Standard Time or Japan Standard Time, I'm not too sure. Since the game's launch, the development and operations team have strived to provide excellent service and improve player experience. However, after careful consideration, we have made the difficult decision to end the game's service. Unfortunately, this also means we are unable to deliver Chapter 4 of the story, which we had previously announced. I honestly didn't expect this, even though their revenue really took a huge hit, right? I'm completely unaware with all of the drama that has been going on, and I think they issued some refunds or force refund or something, and a lot of players cancel out. But yeah, I just didn't really expect that Tribe 9, a game that actually came out, I believe just 2024, if I'm not mistaken, actually reached their end of service in, I believe, less than a year. Feb? Wait, it came out this year, Feb? It has to be longer than that. I'm pretty sure it's longer than that because we did a sponsor for Tribe 9 before, last year. Okay, so the sponsor that we did for Tribe 9 was last year, but it was their beta test. But the game itself actually launched this year, February. Yeah, I just didn't really expect this to happen. As much as, we meme about it, EOS, Tribe 90k, Tribe 9 months or whatever. It's not a good feeling, especially if you are a player that has been playing Tribe 9. Alright, and any gacha games having this end of service, well, as much as people meme about it and oh my god, ha EOS, all that kind of stuff. But when it actually happens, it's that's it, man. That's the end. All the time, all the money, all of the resources, the community, everything is basically gone because this is pretty much it. I'm a little bit shocked that they actually announced the announcement today, when we are gonna be going EOS on November. I'm guessing this might be because there are some contractual obligations, maybe they have a 6-month notice to announce EOS. Because usually, you can't just say oh, I EOS my game tomorrow, right? It's kind of scummy. I think there are some laws that prevent that. It's like sending in your 4-week notice. If you work in Korba, if you want to resign or you want to bounce, you have to give it a period of notice period. So I'm guessing this is what happened for Tribe 9. I do feel that outside of the game itself, it sort of presents a more interesting food for thought questions, right? And I think that would be the title of today's topic. Are there too many gacha games? Whether or not Tribe 9 has the end of service, I don't think anybody is alone to the feeling that in 2024, 2025, and potentially even 26, we have gotten a lot of gacha game releasing. As of this point right now, we have Silver Plane, we have Ananta, we have NTE, we have Duel and Night Abyss, we have Spot Zero, we have Eteria Restart, we have Azure Promilia. That's already 7 games. And I believe most of them are coming in 2025. Not sure about the official launch yet, but most of them, they're coming in 2025. And 2026, we are getting a brand new Honkai Pokemon game. We are getting, I don't know what else is in 2026. A GTA 6 is coming out. So my point is, there has been a lot of gacha games. And for Tribe 9, a game that has been announced, or rather in operation for really very recently, right? So how long were they in operation for? So this was the month of May. Okay, so Tribe 9 launched on Feb. That's 3 months, chat. I don't think I've seen a game going end of service this quickly in a long ass time. I know there are a couple of other big titles that also announced their end of service. For example, I think Precon, right? Precon Global, I think they also announced end of service. But then again, it's been going on for a super long time. I think Dragalia Lost, one of the games that I've been playing since my childhood. I think they also announced end of service, I think 1 or 2 years ago, but that game has been out for a super long time. This is probably like my first time ever in my entire gacha history that I see a game released in 3 months and like, okay, yep, we're done. We're technically not done yet, but like the announcement of end of service after 3 months of operation. I think it is kind of rough to even try and compete in the gacha gaming industry nowadays, because I feel like the competition for the past 2 years, it has been like a lot bigger compared to maybe during the COVID era. COVID, it was like, if you say Genshin, that's probably like the only gacha game that most people would know of, and everything else is like a lot more niche. And then fast forward, I think 2023, right, Honkai Starbucks is probably one of the bigger names. And then 2024 came out with Wuthering Waves, Zenless Zone Zero. And nowadays in 2025, we have so many up-and-coming titles like Silver Play, all that kind of stuff. Are there like too many gacha games for like a player to essentially consume, right? I know there are those instances where a lot of players will be like, yep, I'm a gacha connoisseur. I'm the gacha master. I play every single gacha game. I play Nikkei, Azure Lane, Epic 7, Summoner's War, Honkai Starbucks, Genshin Impact, Wuthering Waves, PGR. I play 10 gacha games. And at this point, I feel like with the amount of releases just this year alone, as a consumer, I don't think it's that feasible anymore to have the same mindset of, okay, I'm maining all these games at the same time. Because the gacha games are technically infinite, right? There can be an infinite amount of games that will come out this year, next year, 10 years later. But your time as a consumer can only be that limited, which stresses a much bigger importance for the actual game itself to deliver the qualities that they want to give to the consumer base. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, I think Black Beacon, it was a fantastic game, and then they did a little bit of an oopsie daisy, and I'm not even too sure if Black Beacon is able to regain the goodwill provided by the player base after something like that happened, right? I think Tribe Nine also had a very similar incident. I think Infinity Nikki also got into themselves a bit of a drama nowadays, and as a player base is starting to get more and more divided into all these games that are coming out, and all of them look beautiful in their own ways, right? Like those like open world gachas, turn-based gachas, action gachas, all the kind of, like any sort of these kind of gaming genres with a gacha title is becoming more prevalent than ever. So as a player base, your choices are a lot bigger compared to last time. Like back in those days, you want to say open world gacha, there was pretty much just Genshin Impact. Like no other open world gacha really came that close to comparison. Same thing for Honkai Starbucks. And I guess, you know, before Zenless Zone Zero, I guess there was a PGR, right? And then if you wanted like a Gunner AFK idle game, probably Nikkei. The whole notion that gacha games don't go EOS, even earning like a substantially lower profit, I feel like this take might not hold true as much anymore going forward. I honestly have no idea how the hell is Hegan in retail still alive, earning $4,000 a month. Shout out to Fob. I think Fob is he has been a firm advocate about Tribe 9, and I think he was one of the few people that basically cannot believe that, you know, Tribe 9 would ever come to end of service. Because to be fair, I think the notion is still relatively true, right? Even games that were earning like much lower than Tribe 9, they have been in operation for years, right? I've played Neurocult before, right? It was basically like a sort of like auto chess kind of thing with like the Clarky. It was a very cute little game, and this game I think has been in operation for like 2 or 3 years, or maybe even longer than that. And somehow they're still chilling, which is why I think, you know, when this clip happened, I just think that it is kind of funny.
How does it feel for your GOAT Tribe 9 to EOS faster than any IP gotcha or even Tower of Fantasy? Gotta keep solo funding their studio at this rate.
Bro, you don't even probably play enough gacha games to know how many gacha games have fucking lasted that long, buddy. Stop yapping like you fucking know.
To be fair, I would be saying the exact same thing. I would deadass be saying the exact same thing. Like, for example, if, let's say, Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike was the first game I ever streamed in my entire life as a streamer. I streamed to like 10 people. It was one of my favorite gacha games I've been playing back like long time ago. And to this day, Counter-Strike is still chilling. And if someone would say the exact same thing they say for Counter-Strike, I will most likely just react the same way as Fob did, because gacha games, after you have the initial development cost, everything else that comes after for this kind of live service games is like very, very small amounts of increments in costs compared to like the return in revenue, right? Your initial capital outlay to make the game first is always gonna be the biggest, but every subsequent patch after that is like a lot easier, because you all you have to do is just add a little bit more units, add a little bit more patch, add a little bit more endgame content, and it's like basically smooth sailing. And as long as you can generate like around this number, I feel like it is more than profitable enough for the company to decide, okay, you know what, we're gonna kind of continue this service, which is why this Tribe 9 end of service, it is honestly genuinely shocking. Like I genuinely would never expect that a game like Tribe 9 within 3 months would announce the end of it. They are not EOSing now, but they announced it and they're gonna EOS in November, right? I don't think Fob is wrong though. I genuinely don't think Fob was like this aged like milk. Now that Tribe 9 is EOSing, I think the game was a perfect example of future gacha devs of what not to do. Do not have little to zero marketing for a game. Do not have an awful launch where you lose most of your player base, even if you make changes. Such a waste of an amazing game. I legit can't remember seeing a single Tribe 9 ad ever. Maybe I just looked in the wrong place, but it legit didn't exist. Korba execs to understand just how important marketing is for these games. It's in their lifeblood. For example, by subscribing to your Twitch streamers, right? By sponsoring your Twitch streamers, your YouTube streamers, to make your content creators like Twitch.tv /MrPokke, where we, you know, for 2 hours, they're gonna play. I feel like that brings out a very, very big portion of a marketing outreach to different demographics that want to. Okay, anyways, I do want to say though, some of these games also don't have a lot of marketing, right? I don't think it's just Tribe 9 that didn't have enough ads placed on like social media. Like, when's the last time you seen ads for like any of these kind of like new stuff in a similar time frame? I feel like the marketing thing is probably not the main cause of why this ended. I do think there might be something underlying this specific game itself for them to announce end of service. Because I feel like just the revenue alone, it shouldn't be that bad. Like, the cost has to be going somewhere for them to decide, okay, within 3 months, we're pulling the plug. You know what I'm saying? I do think a much bigger factor as to why this happened, is also because of all these. Holy shit. It's because of all these games that are gonna be coming out within the 2025 timeline, right? In 2025 alone, I'm pretty sure we're getting like 6 brand new and not like small gacha games, like full out, all in big above, big scale, huge scale gacha games just in the year of 2025 alone. And with this amount of competition, right? When you do something that, for example, the accumulation of lack of marketing, the accumulation of, you know, bad executive decisions to the player base, players won't be as forgiving as compared to last time. Like, as much as you guys want to say like the example for like, for example, like Genshin Impact, not enough pools, because let's just be real, like the anniversary of not just Genshin but for pretty much most of the Hoyo games, it is minuscule compared to a lot of the other gachas. Right? Like Epic 7, holy fucking shit. I literally played that game for 1 week straight with infinite stamina and I got 25 stars completely free to play, right? But I feel like back then, you really didn't have that much of a competition when it comes to which gacha games are like out there specifically for like the casual market, right? Like most of the casual players that are playing gachas, I don't think they are gonna be too in-depth into the different niche games, but something more appealing to the biggest, most available demographic available. And I feel like Genshin back then, it was pretty much one of its kind, right? And nowadays, I think in 2025, the dynamic is no longer the case. And competition is looking very, very, very strong, even outside of like within a single game studio. Like, for example, I think you guys have also seen the Silver Plains trailer. The game looks absolutely insane. Some might even say that looks way too insane for it to be even a feasible option. Like, can you imagine a phone gamer playing Silver Plain? I think it would just fucking explode, right? Oh my god, we still have Art Knights Enfield as well. I didn't thought, yeah, so like we are getting like 8 titles with full-on animations, voice acting, combat, all the things that you could have ever asked for in a game that you probably would have never dreamed of happening back in like COVID. Because of this, while Tribe Nine's end of service is genuinely like, you know, it does feel very, very bad, right, for the community, especially the players that, you know, do play this game. Because no matter how small a community is, right, like I'm pretty sure the community for like NeuroCloud or like Counter-Side is probably not going to be that big. It will be a very, very niche audience. But the thing is, the people that are there playing the game, they are still supporting the game. They are still spending money on the game. And they genuinely do enjoy this game. It's like you always talk about filtering. You filter the tourists, you filter the normies, the casuals, and then the remaining player base that actually do genuinely like the game is what makes this game that valuable for that community. Because a game that is good for everyone is never going to be a game that's great for anyone. With that, I would say that it is genuinely unfortunate that Tribe Nine has sort of reach the end of service. I hope that the community isn't too affected by it, because at the end of the day, it is a gacha game. Nobody really expects their gacha game to EOS, no matter how small. But when the day happens, yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Are there too many gacha games? Right, word of the day is gonna be stand proud. Join Twitch, join YouTube, join Discord, join Twitter, all the best for gacha pools. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.